It's your smell. What the bird is.
New Bird Order. For life.
G'day jabronis, it is the Verd, back with you again, and welcome here to potentially the final team builder for this season. Potentially, we have a monumental challenge ahead of us, guys, playing Gypsy King and the Sydney Sharpedos, probably the odds-on favourite to win this entire league, as he is with most of the leagues that he plays in, because Gypsy is an incredibly good player. I've known him for quite a while now. I've seen him win championship after championship after championship, and the fact that I actually get to play him to decide which one of us gets to play for a championship is kind of wild. The season's been crazy. I'll do that, talk more about the season in my review, obviously at the end, but I guess what we've got to focus on now is this team, this ragtag group of boys that I have assembled to try and take the king down. I'm going to try and be the king slayer. And I mean, these sets maybe aren't the most creative that I've ever come up with, but I think against Gypsy it's not about extending myself creatively, it's about bringing things that are very unconventional to what he may expect and will allow me to, I believe, take advantage of a game and win it. So that's kind of my thought process going into this team. So I'm going to break down what I've got, and then if you guys appreciate that, like this video, subscribe, all that. If you maybe didn't think it was the best I could have done, maybe if you feel there was something better that I could have made, comments below, because I am the kind of person, I'm not one to shy away from. If you feel deep down your heart there was a better set than something I brought, then feel free to share it, because I believe in the community we should be allowed to share our thoughts and opinions. It shouldn't be all like hindered. But regardless, let's get into this team. So we're going to start off with Triple H. This is basically my designated lead against Gypsy. This Pokemon is my designated lead for any Gypsy team that doesn't have Gothitelle on it. So if I don't see Goth on team matchup, then I lead with Empoleon. The reason why I don't want to lead with Empoleon against Gothitelle is because on this set, initially I was actually running a bulkier set with Raw over Agility, but I'll kind of get into the Agility stuff, so that meant that I didn't really care about Goth Trap, but now I kind of care about Goth Trap. So the aim of this Empoleon is to be more of a nuisance to his team, to be able to take hits, to be able to dish out damage if need be, but there's a few major things about it. First and foremost, if there's no Gothitelle on his team, this can basically get up rocks turn 1. Granted, if he's out with Diancie, he could stay in and protect, so I just click Hydro Pump on that turn, and then he will switch out, most likely, but even so, like, I can Hydro Pump into Selly and scout exactly what kind of set he's running. I can Hydro Pump into a Tangrowth, and then I can go for my rocks, because he may think if he has Hydro, he has Ice Beam, not exactly safe to leave my Tangrowth, then I'll switch out here, trying to get a safe swap into something else, but realistically there's no Pokemon he can really go into that's going to prevent me from getting up my rocks. The only move that he would have on a Pokemon that could kill my Empoleon, realistically on turn 1, is Z Earthquake on Landorus, and I just don't see him running Z Earthquake. If you look at my team and the way that's orientated, Z Fly makes a lot more sense. Being able to just straight up kill Bulu, not having to rely on going for Fly, and then if I have Protect on like a Subseed set, then Lando can't really stop me. So Z-Fly makes a lot of sense, plus it just hits everything. Like Rotom can't really switch in on Z-Fly. It'll punch through that as well. So overall I feel this set makes the most sense. Shooker will allow me to take any hit, and then I can get up my rocks. Plus the big thing about this set though is it's kind of like the Celesteela set that I brought in the semis against Monotui in Minors. It's kind of designed to be bulky, but has a bit of a hidden tech in it as well, which is that I'm running max speed Timid with Agility. Now you might be wondering, that's a really odd speed stat to have. You know, why exactly are you trying to hit 480? So this is going to be a bit of a convoluted thing, but just let me try and explain. Gypsy has a Hydreigon, which is most likely one of his best Scarf choices. Hydreigon, when it is Choice Scarfed, hits 486 if it is maximum speed. 486. Yes, 486. I did that right. And my Empoleon, with max speed, hits 480. Now you might be thinking, well, Verd, he outspeeds you, so what's the point of even trying to speed creep a Hydreigon? It makes like 0 sense, you would think. But what you also have to think about is, if he is running a Scarfed Hydreigon, what is he trying to speed creep? And if you look at my team, there's nothing that on my team is base 98, but there are a few base 95s. So I think Gypsy is actually going to bring a Hydreigon that is speed creeping a Zygarde, which means he'll be running 319 speed, which means after he goes for his if he is Scarfed and he goes down to 319, that means that his speed stat will become 478, which means max speed Empoleon after an agility will outspeed a Hydreigon that is creeping a Zygarde. It sounds very convoluted, I know, but basically if Gypsy kind of extends, I guess, with the Hydreigon trying to be a bit too cute with the creeps, this Empoleon punishes that. And the thing is, with Torrent, you basically get a choice specs boost. So that means that I've got like base 400 special attack on the Hydro Pump hits. Ice Beam is doing a chunk to everything else. I can bust through his team. It's not necessarily like the ultimate cleaner, but it's nice to have this as a backup option. Like if it comes in later in the game, and he just assumes Diancie can click an Earth Power and get rid of it, and then I just reveal the agility, then it's pretty sweet. It can be pretty clutch. One of the main defensive Pokemon I'm bringing this week is Rotom. It's kind of designed to deal with things like the Landorus and I guess kind of Celesteela. Although Celesteela can Leech Seed it, which is unfortunate, I do have a really good bluff on this mon, which is the Colbur Berry. So not having leftovers, even though I'm a defensive spread, means a couple of things. First and foremost, it means that if Hydreigon or Lando try to go for Knockoff or Dark Pulse respectively, I can take those hits and then I can, go for Hidden Power Ice on both of them. Then the other really good bluff that's worked a lot of times in the mocks is I try and only spam one move. So like with Rotom, I just keep on clicking Volt Switch and Volt Switch and Volt Switch. And if the Celesteela has Protect, because we know that Gypsy's a stickler for Protect, then eventually Gypsy's going to go hard into his Lando, assuming that the Rotom can't touch him, and that's when I drop the Hidden Power Ice. Now the speed tier on this Rotom seems a bit odd, but I feel it's really accurate in this game, because Gypsy knows that because he has things like Hydreigon and Tangrowth, that an offensive Rotom doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I think what he's going to do is actually speed creep his Landorus to want to be creeping my Hooper Unbound. So Hooper is base 80 speed, so it hits 284, so I think he's going to hit 285 with his Lando. So I'm hitting 286. This means that a Jolly Lando will definitely probably outspeed me, but this also at the same time creeps Adamant Lando. Now I don't think he's going to bring Adamant because Adamant does not outspeed Timid or Jolly Hooper, and I think that's really bad for him. So this is pretty solid set. Pain Split's also really clutch because if I don't see an item on Selly, I have to be wary of Weakness Policy because I lost a mock to Weakness Policy or Autotomize. So Pain Split allows me to just scout, how I want to play around the Selly, but this is just a really solid mon in general. Takes a lot of hits, can take, it's mainly designed just to kind of deal with Lando and also just shuffle around his team a little bit. Now we're going to get into two sets that I think are going to be the most important sets in this matchup, in my opinion. Maybe this one too, we'll see, but I'm going to first talk about Tapu Bulu. First thing you obviously see is it has a lot of speed investment, a lot of odd places, and you're probably wondering what's up with that. So let's kind of go top to bottom here. With HP, it's mainly designed to optimize Bulu's bulk, because in this matchup, Bulu's going to be taking a fair few hits. It's going to probably be taking a Heavy Slam from Celesteela, might have to take a Sludge Bomb from Tangrowth, might have to take, Ice Beams from certain mons that are running that tech for Zygarde, so it's going to take some damage, but the thing is, this Bulu is designed with a specific purpose. If you look at Gypsy's team, easily his best two switch-ins to Tapu Bulu are his Tangrowth and his Celesteela. The plan with this Bulu is to go for sub into either Nature's Madness or Toxic. So if I sub up, Celesteela comes in, I get all my health back, I Nature's Madness, Celesteela goes down to half. Now if he's lefties, that means that Celesteela, after coming in against me, will be at about 60% health once my sub is broken. However, if he's not lefties, he's chilling at about 50% or 44% if Empoleon has Rocks up. And that means that he's relying on his Leech Seed. And I have two grass types that I can interchange between. Bulu can take a Flamethrower. So the question is, will he be running Flamethrower or Heavy Slam? What's going to be his moveset there? So I got ways to shuffle around. So I'm kind of hoping he is something like a Rocky Helmet or maybe a Berry of some sort, because then this Bulu set works a lot better. But the Toxic is actually more designed for the Tangrowth and things like the Tangrowth. Because with that Toxic, it allows me to wear it down and will allow the Zygarde set, as you see, to put in a lot more work. But it also just limits how often Tangrowth can come in to check things like Katana. So it's really, really solid in general. And then the final move is Horn Leech. With the attack investment that Bulu has been given, it means that I can basically, I believe it allows Bulu to 2-hit KO Suicune if it's bulky and I'm burned. That's the basic premise of that Bulu spread. So even if he does get the skull burn on me, Bulu can kind of power through that, and Carmine Suicune is not going to be able to 1v1 my team. That's why I didn't have Roaring Pollen as well. There's also, like, funnily enough, the things that I would be okay with Gothitelle trapping, because realistically, like, if you're Carmine Goth, I can just Nature's Madness into Horn Leech, force you into a rest turn. If you don't have Sleep Talk, I Nature's Madness into Horn Leech again. Like, I don't know, like, I can handle most trapping sets. The defense, like I said, is designed to take a Heavy Slam. It also have the Spadef to take a Sludge Bomb, and then a little bit of speed is actually to creep Suicune, because I feel like Gypsy has no real reason to run a speedy Suicune in this game, so I'm running that bit of investment there on Bulu to creep the Suicune. A really important set. Being able to Nature's Madness and weaken down the Selly, especially with things like Nihilego and Kartana in the back, or Toxicking the Tangrowth, is massive, especially Toxicking the Tangrowth when I'm rocking this guy. Okay, we're going to have to talk about this set, because this is the set you want to see. This is the pièce de résistance. This is my Zygarde set, which is designed, quite frankly, to end a lot of his mons. So the basic premise of Gypsy's team that I looked at was, he doesn't have a lot for Nihilego, and he only has two really good, like, he has a few things for Kartana, but not, like, a lot of great things. So if Celesteela goes down, then, well, Kartana can spam, you know, more of its, like, X-Scissor, kind of, Smart Strike kind of options, whereas if Tangrowth goes down, then I can spam, you know, potentially a bit more of the Sacred Sword kind of variety and whatnot. And Nihi was nice too, but the problem I was finding was, oh, he's got some really tough walls. It's going to be tough to break through. How can I break through them? This is the ticket, guys. This is the golden ticket that gets me through almost every single one of Gypsy's walls. So let me kind of break down how this set works. The basic premise is that Tangrowth has been poisoned, or the target Pokemon, barring Celesteela, has been poisoned. And what this Zygarde is designed to do is... The set also kind of, funnily enough, works on Lando because of how fucking bulky my Zygarde is, but we won't get into that right now. The basic premise is Zygarde comes in against, say, the... let's say it comes in against Celesteela, for example, and I click 1,000 Arrows. Now, he might stay in. Who knows? I can take any Heat Throws, and even HP Ices do, like, maybe 30% at the worst. Like, Zygarde's thick. It's really thick with this set. And then, once I've gone for arrows, I drop 1,000 waves, because realistically, you're not going to switch into any of your flying types if you know I'm just going to be able to arrows them. So you're going to go into your best ground type switch in, which is either your Tangrowth or, you know, things like that, I feel. Or he's just going to stay in with Selly, being like, well, maybe I can just kill him from here, and waves will allow me to trap it. Now that's massive. That is so big in this game. If I can trap Tangrowth while it's poisoned, I will beat Tangrowth 1v1, basically guaranteed. Like, you'd have to have Focus Blast Tang because I'm packing Camouflage. Now, I've used this move in the past. It didn't work so well against Asta, but the basic premise of Camouflage, guys, is that it allows me to turn into a normal type, which means if I trap Tangrowth with 1,000 waves, I Camouflage. That means HP Ice does nothing to me. With the investment that I have, Giga Drain would not do enough to prevent me from constantly clicking Rest. He can Toxic me, that's fine, because I have Rest. And Rest is so good in this situation, especially with these monsters that are poison. This is also great for Piloswine, trying to be like fat and bulky, trying to deal with Zygarde. I can trap it in with waves, I can Camouflage so that its ice moves do shit all, and because of my Fizz Def, I can take the hits, and his mons will slowly die to poison, and Zygarde will stay healthy because of Rest. So, this is really solid. With the investment I've given it to, because it has so much more defense than attack, it means that Foul Play from Persian does absolutely nothing. It's just really solid all in all. It is a little bit of fodder afterwards. Like, sometimes, you know, potentially Landorus might come in and try and set up, but that's why we have the Rotom, that's why we have Nihilego and Kartana ready for that. But this set is basically designed to take all of Gypsy's best walls on his team and like, obliterate them. Absolutely shatter them off the face of the earth. That is what this set is designed to do. When it comes to the defensive side, it allows me to take a Adamant Celesteela's Heavy Slam like it's nothing. Like, even offensive Selly is not breaking this. And the Spadef is in a way that Tangrowth can't 4-hit KO me with Giga Drain, which means even I can basically have designed it so that even if he crits me with Giga Drain, Zygarde still, with Lefty's recovery, is going to be able to just rest up. Like, obviously, you can go for knockoff, and that's great and all, but if I trap the Tangrowth while it's poisoned, it will die, and that's awesome. That is, like, the best. Getting rid of Selly is amazing. I don't think it's going to work on Celesteela, but there's a lot of mons. Also, by going for Camouflage, it means I can actually probably 1v1 Hydreigon too, which is just hilarious to me. But those two sets, the Bulu and the Zygarde, they weakened all of his walls. Like, Bulu's weakening Selly mainly, Zygarde's weakening everything else, and that leads into my two cleaner / sweepers of choice. These guys come in when everything's been weakened by these first two guys, and my bulky cores put in the work, getting up the rocks, pivoting, and then we drop in the big guns. So this Nihilego, this was the first Pokemon I put on my team. Not this exact set, but this Pokemon specifically was the first thing I put on my team, and the reason is Gypsy does not have a rock resist on his entire roster. So Stoneplate Power Gem. The reason I'm going Stoneplate though is incredibly specific. I could have gone Expert Belt, I could have gone weird choice specs, but the reason I went Stoneplate is because Stoneplate almost exactly mimics the damage of Modest Scarf. Now, Modest Scarf might seem a bit ambitious, but realistically, if Gypsy is trying to outspeed my fastest Mon, which is Beedrill, he is able to get away with that with a few of his Mons potentially being a Modest nature, or a Adamant nature, per se. Because he also will feel that I won't run Max Speed B. Doesn't make that too much sense, I don't think. It's the same situation as why I don't think he's going to run Max Speed Scarf Hydreigon. Just doesn't make sense in this matchup. So he may actually assume from this damage that I'm either running the plate or that I am Modest. Now this is good in a way because I'm running Beast Boost. Now, obviously I'm running Beast Boost, I'm a freaking Ultra Beast, but the reason why I'm running 176 Special Attack is because by doing this, it means that I get a Beast Boost in speed when I kill a Pokemon. Now, this is really important because if Gypsy assumes that I am a Modest Nihilego and I kill a Pokemon, he might send in his Jolly Landorus or his Timid Hydreigon thinking, well, I outspeed, so you're going to die. And then I reveal I'm actually Stoneplate and kill them. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Verd, he has a Gothitelle. Surely this set does not deal with Gothitelle. Well, I mean, it kinda does. The thing is, if I know Gypsy, the best optimal kind of Gothitelle set for him to bring in this matchup is going to be a fully physically defensive one with Carbind, Rest, Psyshock, and Signal Beam. With a Colbur Berry, that basically covers my entire team. Granted, it means that B can come in and U-turn, but you have to think about it. If B comes in and U-turns, he basically kills a Pokemon before B can come back in again. So I sacrifice two Pokemon to kill his Gothitelle. He's going to take that trade every day of the week. So how can I design my Nihilego in a way to deal with that kind of Gothitelle trap, and that is Acid Spray. So Acid Spray lowers the split def by 2. This is really important because also with my defensive investment that I put into this Nihilego, by doing the speed creeping stuff with the speed beast boost, it means that the Gothitelle set that has no special attack investment cannot kill my Nihilego with Psyshock after rocks. Now this is massive because that gives me two things I can do with Nihilego here. One, I can Acid Spray as he goes for Psyshock. He won't die. So we would both want. I won't die, but he will be weakened to the range of a Power Gem killing him. Even if he's max HP, gone, dead. If he goes for a Carbind, then I get the boost up with Power Gem. That means I can hit him with Power Gem, and that means that Gothitelle goes down to about maybe 15 to 20% by the time that it dies. Now, Nihilego will go down, yes, but at the same time, so will his Gothitelle. His Gothitelle will basically be dead at that point. It'll be fodder maybe for Kartana to get a free Beast Boost. Zygarde will be able to take it out. Bulu, everything on my team will be able to pick out Gothitelle from there. It's basically useless. It doesn't outspeed anything. It won't be able to outspeed anything, so basically everything will pick it off. It'll be a dead weight on Gypsy's team. And that's really big. Because that means that Empo, late game, will not have to worry about Goth Trap, because then Nihilego kind of clears the path for it. So it's a hugely massive Pokemon in this game, not just because if it gets the Beast Boost, that's the other big thing too, that's why I'm kind of running this set, is because Scarf with the special Beast Boost was good, but obviously I was fearing the trap from Gothitelle. So because of this, even if I got like if I was Scarfed and then got the Beast Boost, it'd be like Specs hit wouldn't work. Even if I was Specs Nihilego and was like at +2, well, being Specs and then having the Beast Boost, there's a chance Goth can steal. It's just not worth the risk. This is my safest option, and Specs Nihilego isn't as good as this set because this allows me to capitalize on Scarf Hydreigon and Scarf Landorus, where he thinks those two will be handy. Like, obviously, you could have Scarf Persian, I faced that in a mock. It was actually a really nice tech, and that could be a thing, but at the same time, Scarf Persian can't really do that much to me, barring a parting shot, and unless the thing he's switching into can take a hit, he's just going to have his thing picked off, and then it's another beast boost for me into my speed, and then I can maybe go for... Then I will outspeed the Persian the next time it comes in too, so then I can just drop a Dazzling Gleam. So, yeah, Power Jam is mainly just a spammable move. Thunderbolt is for things like maybe Suicune or Celesteela that need that little bit more damage. I'm fine working offline, means my internet is down or whatever. But yeah, that works on there, and then the Dazzling Gleam is for Alolan Persian and the Hydreigon, and then obviously the what do you call it? Acid Spray is for Goth. And now we finish off with Kartana. Now this was initially a Mega B set, but I decided to go with Kartana instead for a few reasons. One, it was very inevitable that Gypsy's most likely going to bring either just Rock setup with Diancie or Landorus, or he's going to bring the Spike set. He might even bring both with Quillfish. So I felt that in this matchup, Beedrill was just going to get too overwhelmed by hazards and pressure, and wouldn't be able to do as much work as I wanted it to. U-turn spam was nice, but it was just a lot of dead matchups with Beedrill, whereas Kartana, especially factoring in these three Pokemon here, these three that are kind of designed to bust through every single wall that Gypsy has on his team, means that Kartana then has the easiest job of all. It can come in late game and just clean through. And yes, there is the potential for Scarf Persian to be the one thing on his team that outspeeds me, and that could be bad. But at the same time, I think Kartana should be able to deal with it. Or Gucci shouldn't be an issue at all. So the main premise of this set too is just kill and then just rampage through. It can break down a few walls, getting a cheap kill here and there, but realistically it is my ultimate win con. I think, you know, Empo can set up and that's nice, Nihilego can do its thing too, which is cool, but this Pokemon right here, my Kartana, this is the way that I break through Gypsy at the end game. Being able to just get the Beast Boost into attack and then almost hit 700 attack is ridiculous. Being able to just run through things like that is insane. Obviously Tangrowth is a switch into this thing, but bear in mind if rocks are up and Tangrowth is poisoned, it's not going to be able to consistently come in against Kartana all the time. Like, unless you're like fully physically defensive, but even if you're fully physically defensive, that means you can also be Zygarde fodder. Like, I can bring in Kartana, go for an attack if Tangrowth comes in, I double in a Zygarde, or I double into, you know, something else predicting a certain move. I can play around it pretty freely. And you know, Sacred Sword is not a slouch move either. It's doing at least 20% to even fully physically defensive Selly. So bear in mind that calc, because if Bulu is able to hit up Celesteela with the Nature's Madness one time, it goes to 50%. Then say I wanted to sack my Bulu off for some reason. Like, I go for another Nature's Madness, it goes to 25%. Then I send in my Nihilego to scare off the Celesteela. That means that Celesteela can't come in against Kartana to wall it, because it would be at 25%, then taking rocks would be at 13, or it would have to wait for something else to die, and something else, if it dies, would just give me a beast boost to the point where I can kill it. So Kartana's huge in this game. Realistically, with a beast boost late game, depending on what's left, Kartana can just clean through. Like, most of the time, you're just spamming Smart Strike. Leaf Blade is only really needed for potential late game Bulu given the Grass to Terrain boost. Like, if Bulu's in for one turn, I go for like Nature's Madness or just sack it, to allow Kartana to just spam Leaf Blade late game and clean. But there's a lot of options. I'm really happy with how this set turned out. The only downside to it was that I was in a mock and it just lost to a Scarf Alolan Persian, which was wild, but at the same time I feel Scarf Alolan Persian, it's just very unlikely for Gypsy to bring. It makes sense for outspeeding Kartana, but he also has a Celesteela plus a Tangrowth, so I feel like Gypsy might not actually expect Kartana. That's what I'm kind of hoping here, is I can throw him off with it. But the basic premise, as I said, guys, early rocks with Empo is massive because it really pressures Gypsy's team. Momentum with Rotom is huge, as I can kind of play around a lot of his walls and allow things like Bulu and Zygarde in for relatively free cost as well, which is fantastic. Bulu being able to get the Toxic off on Tangrowth and weaken the Celesteela is massive. Zygarde being able to trap half of his team and just kill them all is amazing, and that will allow Nihilego and Kartana to hopefully come through and clean up, potentially Empoleon too, setting up and cleaning through. That would be phenomenal. So that is the team, guys. I've chatted about it for longer than I've chatted about any of my other teams, because realistically, this is probably the most important team I've ever made. Weaknesses to this team, I guess, like I said, it really just depends on how unpredictable Gypsy makes himself. I think that I was thrown off in the mocks because a lot of people had a very different style to Gypsy and what they were bringing. So I think the biggest weakness for me is going to be the psychological side of things. I need to be very psychologically aware of what's going on and understanding what I need to do to win, because since all my mocks were different, I used all different win cons and didn't realize which ones would be important, whereas in the Gypsy game I have to identify like what's going to be good, what's going to be bad. If I don't see Gothitelle, then 100% Empo lead. If I see Gothitelle, most likely a Bulu lead, because Bulu handles a lot of his team as well. So it's just those little things, thinking about it and being like, okay, like we have to think about these things this way, or else, you know, it's going to be really bad. So it's going to be probably the biggest battle of my life. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Gypsy is, you know, a really great guy, great friend, great battler, and I mean, I just got to try my best at the end of the day. Like, this isn't even me in character or anything else, this bullshit talking. I'm going to have to play out of my freaking skin to beat this man. But realistically, guys, like, worst case scenario, we lose, but we still made the semis in our first season of the NPL. And best case scenario, we beat Gypsy King and we make it to the championship game of the National Pokeball League. So hopefully that can happen. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment down below about how you feel about the sets. There are a few people that are a bit iffy on this Zygarde set, feeling maybe a DD set would be more optimal, but I just feel that with DD you're a bit more vulnerable to Persian, which can kind of wall you, and without Camouflage you are very, very vulnerable to a lot of the team. But hopefully the battle can kind of show how far I've come as a player and how these sets that have been very unorthodox throughout the season prove to be quite effective against a person who I would say is one of the more classic builders. Like, Gypsy doesn't really bring too many outside of the box sets. He's more of a fan of just the kind of solid, reliable set that he knows will get the job done. So I'm hoping my kind of unorthodox style can maybe be his kryptonite, and we can potentially secure our place in the championship. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Like I said, my name is Third. I'll catch you guys in the championship. Oh, not the I wish I could say I'll catch you guys in the championship. I will catch you guys in the match against Gypsy, which will be uploaded a little bit later on. G'day jabronis, it is the Verd, back with you again. Don't know why I did that, since I probably already recorded this on the team builder. I'm sorry guys, this is my 5th time trying to record this. I want you to understand, I've spent 2 hours trying to record one battle. You can probably tell my voice is getting a bit hoarse. I'm just really not in a good mood. The reason this is up late too is after this game happened, I had 2 full days of doing landscaping work for somebody. I was absolutely wrecked after both of those days. Then I got really sick. I'm kind of coming back from that sickness now, but people want to see this, so I'm trying to get it all done now. We're up against Gypsy. As you guys know, Gypsy's a very good friend of mine. I'm really sorry if I don't sound as animated as I normally do, guys. This is very late at night for me. I've been trying to get this video up. Like, I just want to get this recorded because I want you guys to see this, because I know you guys want to see this. And yeah, whatever. Let's just talk about his team. So he brought basically everything I expected, except maybe the Persian slot could have been Gothitelle or Quillfish. Didn't really matter. I knew 5 of these things were coming. I lead Empo because I don't see Gothitelle and nothing really scares me, but he leads Lando. Turn 1, I kind of predicted U-turn because if he EQ'd, I could take it with Shuka. If he was Z-move, I felt like it wasn't worth the risk, since hard swapping into Rotom made a lot of sense against his Landorus here. But Gypsy, being the genius he is, knew that I was probably going to bring Shukaberry and Polion. In fact, he said he exactly predicted that. And so he goes for the Z move turn 1, and it is Z fighting, and I die because for some reason I choose not to go into my Rotom. Because I figured he'd go for U-turn, since I figured he would figure that Rotom was a thing that could switch in to a Landorus Therian. But I was wrong, so I lose my Empoleon turn 1, my best switch into Mega Diancie. That will be a story later. But anyway, go into my Rotom, try and Toxic the Tangrowth, because that's my only chance of winning at this point. Nope, he goes in a Hydreigon. Very unfortunate. Probably going to drop a Dark Pulse here, so I go into my Bulu. He drops the Dark Pulse. Does piss all for a Life Orb Hydreigon, so he's running attack investment, not special attack investment. I don't exactly want to take a Fire Blast here, but me being a pussy is going to bite me in the ass, because if I'd gone for a sub there, I would have been in a really strong position in this game, which you'll see is never really happening. I could have power gem tier 2 because I figured he'd go for rocks or a setup move, and lo and behold, he goes for sub. So if I'd gone for power gem, I could have gone into Bulu on the next turn on the earth power. So you know what? Cool. It wouldn't have mattered though because he had HP poison, which after earth power damage would have knocked me out. But hey, like, sure, hidden power poison. So I figure he's going to go for Moonblast this turn. As you can see from my team, Empoleon's dead, so I have no fucking switch-in. So let's go into Nihilego. Take this Moonblast, maybe threaten him with the fact of a Scarf. Nope, won't matter, he got a special attack drop, so there's that. He kills me with Earth Power, which means that his moveset cannot touch a Mega Beedrill. Granted, he has a Landorus and a Celesteela, so I guess it doesn't really matter to him. Go into Kartana, click my Smart Strike, and I get a crit, which doesn't matter because it won't kill Landorus from here, so I double into my Rotom. As he goes for U-turn because he knows I couldn't kill him, and he could have just gone into Selly. But no, he can go back into his Life Orb Hydreigon. Luckily, I am Colbert, and I choose the Volt Switch here because I don't want to give him a free Roost. So I just Volt Switch out, and I figure from this range of health, I'm going to go into my Zygarde, make him fear the potential Extreme Speed, because it makes sense that I might click Extreme Speed on your Hydreigon, but no, he chooses to sack it, predicting a hard swap. And Hydreigon stays alive, and I'm just going to sack another Pokemon to Diancie, because I don't have switch-ins to Diancie. I could have gone into maybe Kartana, but it would have got fucked up, and I mean, honestly, he should have just gone for sub again, but I guess he didn't want to risk it. I go into Kartana again. I know he's going to switch out to something. He goes into his Tangrowth. Cool, it's 3 versus 6. I have barely made a dent in a team. My only chance of winning, guys, is if I can poison this Tangrowth. That is literally the only way I win this game because of the Zygarde set that I brought. I have to be able to poison the Tangrowth. If I can do that, I win. I waves here, hoping to maybe PP Stall trap him, but no, Gypsy's smarter than that. He goes into his Alolan Persian. I figure he's going to go for Foul Play, so I go hard into my Bulu. He actually switcheroos. I become choice locked. I should have gone for Nature's Madness this turn to ensure that something on his team died, but no, because I was basically laser focused on the fact that I needed to kill his Tangrowth in order to win the game. I try and Toxic, and he gets the freest Hydreigon switch in of all time. I figure he might want to just go for, I don't even know, I just went hard Kartana like a madman at this point because I just had no chance of winning. So I choose the Sacred Sword. Psych, I go for X's because I figured, hey, Gypsy will probably go into his Tangrowth, right? Wrong, he goes into Celesteela, the Sacred Sword switch in, as I go into my Zygarde. And he goes for Hidden Power Ice. And crits me. Didn't really matter because I can take the next hit and then go for Camouflage plus Rest. But hey, don't you just love it? He goes for Hidden Power here and does absolutely fuck all, which is fantastic. I drop a Rest on this turn, as I believe he tries to Heavy Slam. Funny thing is, Heavy Slam, judging on the range of health I was at, wouldn't even kill me from there. Sick meme, I could have gone for arrows then, but no. I don't do that, because I'm a silly goose. I'm asleep for 2 turns, these Leech Seeds, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be at like half health, not denting the Celesteela at all, but I'm going to drop my arrows regardless. It does 16% to Celly, which is kind of funny, but I know this means that my waves will do a lot more this turn, so I actually predict him to want to switch out, knowing that I'm Leech Seeded as well, out to like Persian or something stupid, and hey, would you look at that? It took us 27 turns, but we got a prediction right. He just won all the 50-50s, guys, like, it was unfortunate, but yeah, I'm in Nature's Madness here. Hey, double predictions right, I'm a freaking genius. I could have gone for another one, but it would have like achieved absolutely fuck all. I should have done it though, because at this point, if I weakened Celesteela, Kartana had a chance, I suppose, because I didn't really have too much for Kartana spam if I had like Smart Strike at +1. But silly bird, not doing that, not realizing that was an option too, because in my mindset, it was only if you Toxic the Tangrowth, you have a chance to win with Zygarde. Like a fucking idiot. I don't know why I thought that way. And yeah, I go for Toxic here, and obviously he goes into Lando, because why would he risk his Tangrowth? He clearly sees that all I want to do is poison his Tangrowth. So here goes Lando, sets up rocks, and at this point, it's checkmate. Bulu is too weak to switch into Tangrowth now. I go for Smart Strike. I need to keep Kartana alive because it outspeeds his entire team, and I can't go into Zygarde because it'll die to HP Ice. But of course, he has HP Ice on Tangrowth, so I die, and at this point, there is no way I can win. So I forfeit, because if I go into Kartana there, I can't kill him. He clicks Knock Off to ensure that Diancie then outspeeds my entire team and kills them all. And if I go Zygarde, I would be going for Camouflage on grassy terrain, putting myself basically in HP Ice range. And at that point, he can just wall me with Alolan Persian. So, we get into the semifinals of the NPL, and we get 6-0 swept. I would have given a lot more analysis in this game, guys. I really would have. But honestly, when you've spent 2 hours doing the exact same analysis over and over again, I honestly cannot be fucked. I'm really sorry if you wanted a more in-depth explanation of all my plays, but realistically, guys, what it came down to was the Gypsy counter-teamed me like perfectly. He just happened to have a check for everything. I was a little bit miffed by Hidden Power Poison Diancie. I really thought Diamond Storm was a smarter bring because of Mega B, but you know what? It worked out for Gypsy, so I can't even complain. It's like the situation with Razor in Week 2. He did something that probably 9 times out of 10 isn't the best idea, but it worked, and I can't fault him for that. Realistically, guys, the game plan made a lot of sense, but it fell apart after turn 1. Since Gypsy's best 2 plays, if you think about it, on that turn 1, is either Lando clicking a Z move and killing me, or him just going hard out to Celesteal it. Because if I am a potentially scarfed Empo, he ain't going to want to deal with that shit. So I should have just gone hard road him 100%. If he U-turns, so be it. If he goes out to Hydreigon, it's fine. It would have been the same situation as in this game, only Hydreigon wouldn't have been poisoned. So I could have played around it all the same. And then when Diancie came in, I had an Empoleon I could go into. But what I would have done is actually been a real boy and clicked Power Gem first with Nihilego. Weakened that Diancie right off the bat, and then gone hard into Empo after that, forcing him to want to go for the attacking move and not going for the setup move. It's just silly things like that. I know the mistakes that I made, and it's just very frustrating because Gypsy is probably the one guy in all of Mons that I want to beat the most. Like, that's how much respect I have for him. He is the one guy that every single week I go out there, he's someone I want to play. He's like basically my idol in the format, and I finally got the chance to really play him for a super competitive game that doesn't count as March Madness because it was 4 in the morning and he had a Mega Gallade. But I just, honestly, I'm very disappointed with myself. I think people have been trying to tell me, like, you know, oh, but you still made it to semis in your first season, you did really well. I get that, and I do appreciate people that say that, because I am very proud of how I performed, and regardless of this result, I'm very proud that I was able to make it to the semi-finals in my first season of the NPL. I was the best of the promoted coaches for the season of the NPL, and I proved that, you know, Gypsy King isn't the only good Australian poker tuber, I suppose. But at the same time, guys, you have to understand it from my end. I went in, and you heard the passion and the motivation in the team builder. I really, really felt like I could have beaten him. I genuinely, in my mocks, I could see like plays that were happening, things that I could do, and I genuinely had this confidence that this team could actually get the job done. And honestly, the minute I got the turn 1 50-50 wrong, I knew it was over by then, because in order to beat Gypsy, as you saw probably in this game against Cheese earlier in the season, to beat Gypsy, you have to get almost every single 50-50 that is in this game correct. And, you know, I just wasn't able to do that. It's one of those games where I think if I'd made the right reads at the right times, then things would have gone very differently. I think if I'd preserved Empoleon and played aggressively around the Diancie, predicting potential like Rock Polish or the Sub or the Stealth Rocks or anything like that, I think it would have put me in a much better spot. But I didn't do that, and that's on me. Like, this is a very poorly played game on my part, and for the people who enjoy my videos and that, I am really sorry, because it wasn't my intention to play badly and to lose 6-0 in probably the most important game I've had so far in my life. That was definitely not part of the plan, but you know what? At the end of the day, guys, it's just props to Gypsy. Like, there's a reason he's the king. Like, I'm not trying to suck his dick or anything. He is easily, I think, the best player in format for this reason. The fact that he was able to trade fucking Decidueye for Tangrowth. It's like, David coming back to haunt me after I took his major spot last season and said, you know what? Gypsy's probably going to play Verd in semis. Let me just give Gypsy a Tangrowth, because that means that Kartana can't just do shit. So, hashtag thanks David in the comment section would be fantastic, guys. Because that, no, I'm not gonna blame people. It's on me. You know what? We made it to the semis and that was cool, but I'm very disappointed, guys. As you can tell, I also said to Blake, I'm not going to do a third place game. I've thought about it. I'm still going to do that because I don't see the point. Blake played better in his game against Riz than I did against Gypsy, so he can take third place for all I care. I mean, granted, he won half of his games. No, I'm not going to. I'm too tired. I'm not going to start drama. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to end the recording here because I'm worried that I'm going to say things that I regret. What I will be doing soon, though, when I'm a bit more awake and less upset, is I'm going to be doing a review of the season. It's going to be like a very long video talking about each match, the team itself, a lot of thought processes. So if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, if you enjoy listening to my voice, then you'll probably enjoy the review. But yeah, we end up losing our semi-final game 6-0. We still made it to semis, which is cool, I guess. And Gypsy now gets to play, spoilers if you haven't seen the other game, he gets to play Rizzy Powell in the final, which is pretty cool. Good luck to both of those guys. It's been a great season. I will be back next season for the NPL unless for some reason I'm kicked out, which I can't imagine why I would be. I'm fucking lovable. But yeah, guys, not much else to say. Again, I'm just really sorry. I know you guys aren't going to be like, don't apologize, you still had a great season, yada yada yada, but I'm just sorry because this game did not reflect my ability as a battler, I feel. I think the problem with this battle too came down to the fact that Gypsy and I have been mocking each other for an entire season. And he knows my style now inside and out better than anybody. Maybe only the Flying Bird knows it better than him. And that was great throughout the season to be able to prepare myself to play other people, but was such a curse against Gypsy. Which, you know what, that's just how it goes. And at the same time, it fuels me on even better. And I've said to Gypsy that, you know, next season I'm coming for him again. I'm not giving up on this, because eventually I'll beat him and eventually I will be the king. It's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I'm just gonna be fucking repeating myself if I don't stop it here. So review will be coming soon, other projects are coming soon, and I'm gonna try and get some more shit up for you guys. Since most of my stuff got deleted off my old computer, I need to record a bunch of new stuff. The sublock's basically dead, so you have to record some more free-for-alls and shit. So look forward to that, and whatever. This is the Verd, I'm out this bitch, and I'm also out of the NPL. Hooray!